Lockers rattled, conversations died mid-sentence, and students turned to see what had just happened. There, in the center of the hallway, stood Ava, the quiet girl with glasses too big for her face and a hoodie 2 sizes too large. Her cheek was turning red, her books scattered across the floor. And in front of her, grinning with a twisted sense of pride, stood Kyle, the school's self-proclaimed alpha, a senior who used fear as his weapon of choice. But something was different this time. Ava didn't look down. She didn't scurry away, didn't cry, didn't beg. She looked up, slowly, and locked eyes with Kyle. Her voice, calm and steady, pierced the silence. "You shouldn't have done that." What happened next stunned everyone into frozen silence. In a blur of motion, Ava's arm swept up, her body moved like water, practiced, fluid, precise. Before Kyle could blink, his wrist was caught, twisted, and in one sharp, efficient movement, snap. Kyle screamed. Students gasped as his elbow bent the wrong way, his body crumpling to the ground in agony. Ava stepped back, her breathing calm, eyes locked on his in quiet fury. And then, the teacher came running. Ava Morgan had always been the invisible girl. She blended into backgrounds, sat in the back of the class, never raised her hand, never spoke unless spoken to. Her presence was ghost-like, not because she was weak, but because she chose silence. People assumed her silence meant she was afraid. They were wrong. She lived with her grandfather, a retired military hand-to-hand combat instructor who had raised her after her parents died in a car crash when she was 10. Silence is strength, he'd always told her. But when the time comes, you act. You protect yourself. And you never let anyone take your dignity. For years, Ava trained in silence. While other kids played video games or went to parties, she spent her evenings in the garage learning grappling, takedowns, self-control. She didn't want to fight. She just didn't want to break again. But school wasn't easy. From her first year in high school, Kyle and his friends made her a target. They teased her voice when she spoke. Knocked books from her hands. Drew on her locker. Whispers followed her down the hallway, freak, mute, orphan. She endured it. Day after day. Until the slap. The principal's office buzzed with tension. Kyle was being rushed to the hospital, cradling his arm and still sobbing. Ava sat across from the principal, silent, hands in her lap, eyes steady. Her teacher, Ms. Rayner, stood beside her, visibly shaken. She broke his elbow, the principal shouted. "This is serious, Ava. This could lead to expulsion." He hit her first, Ms. Rayner interrupted, her voice firm. "I saw the end, but I heard the slap. So did half the hallway." The principal faltered. "Still, violence." "She didn't start the violence," Ms. Rayner said. "She ended it." Ava finally spoke, her voice calm. "I've let him hurt me for 3 years. I only stopped him from doing it again." A long silence followed. The principal finally leaned back in his chair. "We'll need to review this. There'll be consequences. But I'm not sure the consequences are for you." Word of what happened spread like wildfire. The quiet girl who never spoke had defended herself in the most shocking way possible. And the students, for once, weren't mocking, they were curious. Some were even in awe. No one looked at Ava the same after that. People began to see her. Emma, the girl from chemistry class, offered to walk with her to school. Jordan, the art student, drew a picture of her not fighting, but standing tall, like a warrior. And Kyle? He didn't return for weeks. When he did, his arm was in a cast, and he walked with his head down. Something about him had changed, too. But the biggest change was inside Ava. She didn't become loud or popular. She didn't start dressing differently or seeking attention. She remained quiet but not invisible. She joined the school's self-defense club and taught others what her grandfather had taught her. One day, a younger girl approached her after school. "They pick on me too," she said. "I don't know what to do." Ava knelt down, smiled gently, and handed her a card. It read, "Silence is strength. But strength is not silence. Learn to defend your peace. Challenges they faced. Ava's isolation, losing her parents at a young age, being different, and not fitting into school cliques made her a silent target. Bullying, she endured years of harassment from Kyle and his friends, forcing her to constantly choose between breaking down or rising above. Fear of standing out, Ava's greatest internal struggle wasn't fear of pain, it was fear of being seen.